Heavyweight tournament, nonetheless.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the heavyweight tournament.
Yes, we're kicking things off. So they're doing a Grand Prix, 8 guys. So essentially, this is a quarterfinal round. Straight line bracket, which I appreciate. I mean, even the Ultimate Fighter, which should be a tournament, but they'll move that bracket around, right?
Tournament.
If you meet your teammates or whatnot, then they switch it around a little bit. This is a straight line bracket, so everybody that advances just fights the next guy to advance. And that's it, but it's put me in a weird spot. Like, okay, take for example, somebody asked me, well, if you win this fight, are you going to call out Fedor? You know, you guys have some heat. And it's like, well, no, that's... If I advance and Fedor advances, we fight. And if one of us is eliminated, we don't fight. Yeah. So, but the same thing kind of goes for Rampage. I don't really have heat with Rampage. He got drawn, but I don't even feel the need to try to, you know, it's just not there. It's a tournament. What am I supposed to do? It's a tournament.
I think it sells itself. A fight. I think all the matchups sell themselves. You don't really, I mean, obviously you're known for being a talker and selling fights and stuff. I don't know if you need to against Rampage Jackson. I'm also curious, how did Scott Coker come up with the matchups? Like, why you and Rampage first? Why Roy Nelson, Mitrione first? Fedor, Frank Mir, you know?
It looks like it's not seeded to me because I would have to put Mitrione in the finals. I mean, if he wasn't doing a tournament, for example, and just traditionally, okay, I'm going to grab 2 guys with the best records or the best draw, whatever it was that goes into that, the politics of that, I would have to assume Mitrione's half of that fight. And then who's going to fight Matt? Well, maybe Roy. I mean, Roy beat him before.
True.
So... that one's a tough fight right out of the gate. And then I think
super tough fight.
Even if you look over here at Mo and Bader, Bader's a sitting champion. Mo's the number 1 contender in the division, but they're fighting in a different division, so the title's not on the line. I mean, that's an interesting one as well because it could likely have to happen down the line.
Bader's my dark horse. Bader's my dark horse in this.
For sure. For sure, and I don't even know if I think he's a dark horse. Well, I mean, he's got to get.
Because he's undersized.
Mo. Yeah,
he has to get by Mo, and then Roy Nelson and Matt. Matt would be a tough matchup for him. And then you look, you on the other side, there's some big boy. Even for you, like when I saw this, I went, God, Chael's doing heavyweight, huh? Because Frank Mir's a large man. So let's say you beat Rampage Saturday night. Frank Mir beats Fedor. Frank's a big dude for you to take on.
For sure. Yeah, and then, what Frank are you going to get? One of them's the baddest dude in the world, or if you remember last time he took a layoff, and I know that was a motorcycle injury, but all the same, it was a layoff. It took him a little bit to kind of get his feet back under him. So it's hard to say. And I'm not on board with writing Fedor off yet either.
No, he's still dangerous.
It's still Fedor. Yeah, he's still dangerous. Even his fight with Mitrione, they knock each other down. It was just goofy. So. Anyway, there you are. It could play out any which way, which is what's fun about the tournament.
I like it. Yeah, no, I'm actually a big fan.
I'll watch any one of those matches.
Me too.
2 of those guys, throw them in there.
Me too. I'm a big fan.
I'll buy a ticket.
I'm a big fan of it. You obviously enjoy doing it. You still love it? You still have the passion for it? Because I remember, before you answer, when we were doing training camp together at Rain, I remember we were both in the thick of training camp, and you went, Brendan, this morning, because you were with your wife, and you guys would drive down or wherever you guys are staying in a hotel. You're like, I stayed at a coffee spot for quite some time this morning, contemplated whether I'm going to come in today or not.
Oh, every day ends up like that. As far as being a motivated athlete, those days are about 10 years behind. But as far as being a disciplined athlete, I never miss practice. Yes. I go every single day, twice a day. But I've had to operate off discipline. I hear coaches tell young athletes all the time, you have to want it. That is the worst thing you could tell a guy because it's not true. A guy can still have more points than the other guy when time runs out if he shows up and goes through the process. He's not always going to want it.
No, he's just better.
Don't tell a coach he has to have an emotion.
No, sometimes he's just better.
That's right.
I know some NFL guys who hate playing the game, but they happen to be really good at catching footballs and throwing footballs. They get paid a lot of money to do it.
If that's the sport that you play or that's the job that you do, you got to get up and you got to go to work, whether you like it or not. I don't know where that came from. I'll never tell my kids that, to go have fun and it's about fun. I don't know anything about fun.
It's just something you have to do,
This
son.
is necessary. This is what you're going to do. It's necessary.
So, for you, how do you think you're going to do it another 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
I've never put an expiration date on it, but I mean, if I can win fights, I'm going to keep on going out and doing fights. Yeah, thank you. So I'm on a win streak right now.
Yeah,
1.
That's right. You beat Vanderlei.
But it's still one, right?
That's a streak.
I'm not going out on top, man.
I'd rather be you than Vanderlei.
Face down and embarrassed.
Yeah.
That is how this will end. I don't want to have any regrets. So
I think
sticking around.
I think you had that quote. You said everyone's career ends the same way. Everyone gets embarrassed somewhat one way or another, yet they end up face down.
Yeah.
And it's true. No one walks away without being embarrassed at least once.
Yeah, for sure. I could only look at, I guess you could go to Lennox Lewis, and George St. Pierre would be the other one. And if there's some examples in between there, I can't remember them.
George, I guess, George got submitted against Matt Hughes, but he's still embarrassed against Matt. Or he got flatlined against Matt Serra.
Sure. Oh, you mean at some point. Yeah, I meant like the final one.
You're saying like the final one you walk off?
Nobody goes out on top.
No one.
I'm saying,
right. I see it.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
George gave those guys every opportunity to beat him. I mean, he
really did.
Rematches and some guys 3 times and change a weight class. He did everything he could do to pass the torch. He was just so damn good, no one could take it from him.
Are you trying to do more commentating analyst work as well? Because now that Jimmy Smith is gone, they filled that with John McCarthy.
Yeah, Jimmy's over at the UFC, man.
I know.
I don't know if I'm looking to do more, but I like to participate. So when those opportunities come up, I definitely will fill in. But I don't know that I'm looking for more.
You're good. The reason I ask because you're good at it.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? You're very good at it. You were good at Fox, and then obviously you left there, and then you're good at it with Bellator. So when Jimmy Smith was leaving, Bellator reached out to me. I'm not the guy I'm too busy with what I'm doing. And I thought, you guys have Chael Sonnen. Like, he's already on the roster. You don't need to go around. And, obviously you're fighting so they can't have you full time.
Yeah, I appreciate that from you. Thank you. And I knew they were coming after you.
Yeah.
I thought they would get you, by the way. But, yeah, I mean, those are good opportunities. It's really hard to participate in the sport if you're not in there. Yeah, you could ref or you could judge or you could coach. I mean, there's some things you can do. But, boy, they're limited. So... being an announcer, I'm a fan. I'm a fan first. So, to be up front and get to talk about it, it doesn't feel like work, but I do feel fortunate to do it.